What's up? So this is going to be my last video for March. It's one more wrestling video. So this time we're in the Haters Club. And it's not about a particular wrestler. It's about something that's actually been in the news a little bit. I've seen articles on Yahoo and stuff. It's about the WWE Hall of Fame. The night before WrestleMania, they have a Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Now, for a long time, it's when they... Actually, for about 5 years, I should say. It's not too long, but it feels like a long time. When they brought back the WWE Hall of Fame, some people say, oh, it's not legitimate. People were saying it's not legitimate because they didn't have Bruno Sammartino in the WWE Hall of Fame. And as a complaint, it's actually an interesting one. It actually makes a little bit of sense. He was the longest reigning WWE champion of all time. And to have him not in the WWE Hall of Fame, I wouldn't say it makes it illegitimate. It felt incomplete, as far as I'm concerned. It felt incomplete. And so people were hyping on that and harping on it, saying, oh, because it doesn't have Bruno Sammartino and because it didn't have Bob Backlund, it's not legitimate. And they were the two longest reigning WWE champions. And lo and behold, WrestleMania 29 comes around, and what happens? Both Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund are inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. So, did that make it legitimate? Did that silence the critics? No, it didn't. It just moved the goalposts, say, well, it's not legitimate if you don't have Randy Savage. Yeah, Randy Savage. He will never be in the WWE Hall of Fame because he had some back history with Vince McMahon. I don't know. I don't care. It's not my business. And people were saying it wouldn't be legitimate without Randy Savage. And they thought, oh, there's no way that's going to happen. And lo and behold, 2 years later, WrestleMania 31, who gets inducted in WWE Hall of Fame? Randy Macho Man Savage. Oh, yeah. Rightfully so. Now, does that make it legitimate? Does that stop the complaining? No, it doesn't. I mean, they were just saying, oh, now they're complaining about certain people being in it, like Coco Beware or the Bushwhackers. Oh, they were never the tag team champions. He was never a champion. You know what? Jake the Snake Roberts. Okay? Jake the Snake Roberts never won a title in any company he was in, whether it was the WWE or any territory he was in beforehand, as far as I know at least, because I know he was never champion in WWE at any point. But he was such a figure, so captivating with his character and bringing the snake into the ring and the way he carried himself and the way that he worked the mic. He did need to be loud and boisterous. He almost talked in a whisper, but the way he spoke and the words that he used made you listen. He kind of was a pre-Undertaker in that sense, because if you look at the early Undertaker promos and even throughout the mid-90s, he's not yelling, he's not screaming, he doesn't do any of that. He's very low tone, and it's very methodical, very forceful and impactful without having to be loud. And it's something Jake Roberts was a master of. And so, yeah, it didn't matter if he never won a championship. But some people will say, oh, well, why is Sting going in this year? I mean, he only had 3 matches at WWE. Come on, after, 20 years or so in WCW, and since WWE now owns the library of WCW matches, he deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. He finally made his debut. I know it was barely to never, but it was still a fun debut, and he had a good match against Triple H. It was nice to see him in the WWE ring, at least for a little while. And people say, oh, well, in that case, why are you even calling it the WWE Hall of Fame? Because it's WWE. I mean, they're the company that's having this, so they should put whoever's going to be put in it. I mean, people are saying, well, what do you even care if it was somebody, the WWE's only had like a couple of matches and they lost them? You know what? Abdullah the Butcher never had a match in the WWE, and yet he's in the WWE Hall of Fame because it's wrestling. He's part of wrestling history because of what he did during the territory days. I mean, I don't know that much about Abdullah the Butcher, to be honest, but if if he was a big deal during the 70s and the 60s and 80s, then okay, I didn't know about it, but hey, I can't know everything. But there's always going to be some sort of idea of, oh, it's not legitimate, or why are those people in it? And then what they did last year was just pathetic. They're catcalling the Bushwhackers and Kevin Nash and just being complete a-holes. They're booing Roman Reigns as mentioned by his, I think, cousin or second cousin, Rikishi. Yeah, that entire... Yeah, come on. Why are you booing just because he mentioned something? But who cares at this point? It's about the person who has his honor of being in the WWE Hall of Fame. So the only thing I always said was I would like to see a physical location. And there have been some stories lately about there possibly being a physical location, but I'm not going to believe rumors. I want to see an official release from WWE saying this is where it's at, this is when it's going to be built, and this is the layout. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll come on here and maybe do a video and talk about what I would like to see in it. But other than that, I mean, the complaining, thankfully, is kind of died down. But there's always going to be this, oh, why is that person in it? Or how come this person isn't in it? You know what? I'm glad that they only do a few every year. And personally, I even said, when they put The Undertaker in, he should go in by himself. Because he could probably fill an entire, 1 or 2 hour special on the WWE Hall of Fame just by himself. But that's just me. So, if you like the WWE Hall of Fame, good. If you hope that some person does get into it, yeah, come on, there's always a chance. And also, don't be mad when they put celebrities in it. Celebrities have always been a part of wrestling. Even back during the territory days, Muhammad Ali, I think, not George Foreman, but Smoking Joe Frazier, he was a ref, I believe, at some point. It's always going to be a part of wrestling. Get over it. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a big fan of wrestling, so he's going to be brought in. I mean, look at Mike Tyson, the guy who really helped build WrestleMania 14 when Shawn Michaels couldn't do a lot of it with his back injury. Yeah, he was such a fan of wrestling. You could tell how much fun he was having. And at WrestleMania 14, you had Pete Rose, who came back year after year to get Sting and to get his... I'm tripping over words because I'm trying not to laugh. But he gets his butt kicked every year for like 3 or 4 years in a row. And yeah, you remember the celebrities, especially when they're fun and when they're good. So I might do a list later on about best celebrity interactions, but don't be mad when they put celebrities in the WWE Hall of Fame. So that's what I think. What do you think? Do you like celebrities in the Hall of Fame? Do you think the complaining about who should and shouldn't be in WWE Hall of Fame is overblown? And also, who do you want to see next go into the WWE Hall of Fame? I'm curious. Let's make next year's class right now for WrestleMania 33. Who goes in? I'm putting the head of the class as The Undertaker, and I hope he just goes in by himself. But who else would you think goes in next year? And also, I'm going to be on sabbatical, I guess, for a few weeks. I'm probably not going to have any more videos for the rest of March. I'll have 2 videos ready to go towards the beginning of April. But until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of the road to WrestleMania, and I hope it kicks ass. Later.